In a shocking move, the U.S. Postal Service has just signed a deal with Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency to slash 10,000 jobs. This is not a drill, folks. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy has officially informed Congress that major cuts are coming to the 254-year-old institution that delivers to every American doorstep. DeJoy didn't mince words in his letter to Congress, describing the Postal Service as having a broken business model that simply isn't financially sustainable without drastic changes. The $78 billion a year agency has been struggling to stay afloat for years. And now DOGE, yes, that's the actual acronym for Musk's efficiency department, is stepping in to identify what they call further efficiencies. What exactly are these efficiencies? Well, for starters, 10,000 postal workers will be shown the door within the next 30 days through what they're calling a voluntary early retirement program. But this isn't even the first major workforce reduction. Back in 2021, the agency already cut 30,000 workers, and they've previously announced plans to slash operating costs by more than $3.5 billion annually. The agreement between USPS and DOGE points to several issues plaguing the Postal Service: mismanagement of retirement assets, problems with the workers' compensation program, and a tangle of regulatory requirements that they claim are restricting normal business practice. DeJoy seems enthusiastic about the partnership, writing that this is an effort aligned with our efforts, as while we have accomplished a great deal, there is much more to be done. But not everyone is celebrating this new alliance. Democratic Representative Gerald Connolly of Virginia issued a scathing response, warning that turning over the Postal Service to DOGE would result in it being undermined and privatized. He didn't hold back, stating that the only thing worse for the Postal Service than DeJoy's Delivering for America plan is turning the service over to Elon Musk and DOGE so they can undermine it, privatize it, and then profit off Americans' loss. Connolly's concerns go beyond just job cuts. He warned of catastrophic consequences for all Americans, especially those in rural and hard-to-reach areas who rely on the Postal Service every day to deliver mail, medications, ballots, and more. In a particularly pointed jab, he added that reliable mail delivery can't just be reserved for MAGA supporters and Tesla owners. The National Association of Letter Carriers is also sounding the alarm. Their president, Brian L. Renfro, said they welcome help with addressing the agency's problems but firmly oppose any move toward privatization. Common sense solutions are what the Postal Service needs, Renfro stated, not privatization efforts that will threaten 640,000 postal employees' jobs, 7.9 million jobs tied to our work and the universal service every American relies on daily. This move comes at a critical time for the Postal Service, which has operated as an independent entity since 1970. With the decline of first-class mail in the digital age, the agency has faced increasing pressure to reinvent itself. Former President Donald Trump has previously called for privatizing the service, and just last month, he suggested putting USPS under the control of the Commerce Department, effectively making it an executive branch takeover. The timing of this announcement is particularly interesting given the upcoming presidential election. Postal workers play a crucial role in delivering mail-in ballots, which have become increasingly important in recent elections. Any major disruption to postal operations could have significant implications for voter access and election integrity. For context, DOGE has been making waves across the federal government since its formation. Just recently, they announced the cancellation of 239 contracts over just 2 days, including a grant to teach transgender farmers about food justice. They've also canceled 200,000 federal government credit cards in their efficiency drive. The Postal Service currently employs about 640,000 workers who deliver mail to every corner of America, from dense urban centers to remote rural areas and even isolated islands. These workers are responsible for connecting Americans to essential services, delivering everything from birthday cards to prescription medications to official government documents. Critics worry that these cuts will disproportionately affect vulnerable populations who rely heavily on mail service. Elderly Americans who receive medications by mail, rural communities with limited internet access, and low income households that depend on postal delivery for important communications. Supporters of the move argue that the Postal Service needs to adapt to modern realities and that these efficiency measures are necessary for its long term survival. They point to the agency's financial struggles and suggest that a more streamlined operation could actually improve service while reducing costs. As this story develops, Americans across the country will be watching closely to see how these changes affect one of the nation's oldest and most essential public services. The question remains, can the Postal Service maintain its commitment to universal service while undergoing such significant restructuring? Or are we witnessing the beginning of a fundamental transformation of mail delivery in America? For now, postal workers continue their daily routes, delivering mail to millions of Americans. But with 10,000 fewer colleagues soon to join them, the future of this American institution hangs in the balance. The next few months will reveal whether this partnership with DOGE represents a new chapter of efficiency or the beginning of the end for the Postal Service as we know it.